What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of If There's a Will, There's a Wave. I'm Jeremy, this is Cleo, and we're restoring this 1973 32-foot Loris Flybridge Sport Fisher that we plan to have back on the water by the end of June 2021. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with the current build progress. We already got the old engines out, purchased the new ones, and in this episode we get one step closer to applying varnish, installing a brand new marine carburetor and performance intake, and seeing what else we've been up to. Let's get into it. What's going on, everyone? Hope everyone is doing well. We've got a lot to catch up on in this episode, so let's get right to it. As you all know, we've been preparing all the wooden trim pieces on the boat in order to have them varnished with some TotalBoat Marine Spar Varnish Gleam 2.0. Now, after further thought, we decided to stain the trim pieces instead of leaving them the natural color that we initially planned for. We wanted the color to match what we had on the inside of the boat, so we went with a deep red mahogany that turned out to be more of an espresso color with the wood that we have. And here's a little montage of us staining everything down. And yes, as you guys can tell, I did get sunburned, but after much healing, everything's back to normal. As you can see, the stain turned out great, but I'll save that close-up for when we actually do the varnish in an upcoming episode. Moving forward, we got some new parts going on the engine in the form of a brand new Edelbrock marine carburetor and a polished K&N High flow air cleaner. Alright, so starting off, we've got the brand new Edelbrock carburetor. This is a 1409 marine carburetor, and we paired it up with this K&N High flow air filter. High flow, K&N. Chrome. Let's get into it. First we dry fit the carburetor, then we install some studs. In this case we went with the outside holes, and then finally we installed the air filter, starting with the bottom plate, followed by the filter itself. And as you guys can see, this is a K&N marine grade air filter. And finally the top cover. Not bad if I say so myself. Now let's just take a second to admire this beauty. In keeping with the theme of the engines, we're now going to start working on some panels for the engine bay. Some of them will be some floorboards and some of them will be some platforms for the batteries. Let's get into it. Here we got them all painted white with that TotalBilge by TotalBoat, and they're looking great. And I know I told you guys I wouldn't show you the engine bay until it was completely ready, but I figured you guys have earned a little sneak peek. So here's how it's looking at the moment with the new battery panels and the floor pieces installed. And we also installed a support beam for the floor hatch to help with the added weight of passengers. For the beam, we used a galvanized aluminum bracket followed by a wooden spacer, and then on top of it was a foam spacer. However, the foam that we had was a little bit too thick and it caused the door to not sit flush, so we'll have to find a solution for this. Onwards and upwards to the next project. After much thought, we decided that we wanted to get rid of this old fridge from the inside of the boat, and that was definitely a task easier said than done. As it turned out, the interior of the boat was not as original as we had first thought. At some point, one of the previous owners decided to redo the flooring by placing faux wood planks on top of the pre-existing floor, effectively locking the refrigerator in place. So we had to try out various solutions until we got that refrigerator out. First we had to remove the trim pieces. And then the floor panels. As you saw, that first panel came off real nice and easy, but as we started getting to the subsequent ones, this is what we had to deal with. That glue was not letting up for anything. We tried acetone, we tried banging, hitting, everything we could possibly think of, and it just was not going. We ended up using a wire brush to knock down some of that wood, and then we opted to using the cutoff wheel and just chipping away at this thing. And even after all that effort, the fridge was still stuck in place. So we decided to cut a little bit further in, as far as we expected we were going to need to do, and got right to it. Also, let's all laugh at this hilarious clip of my cousin vacuuming the air dust. So unfortunately guys, I did not get the clip, but I got to a point where this was just taking way too long to cut out the floor and do all that work. So I just opted to cutting the refrigerator in half. I just used a cutoff wheel and just worked my way around it, pulled it out in two pieces. So as you guys can see, we have a little bit of work cut out for us. We got to redo this floor a little bit, figure out that little hole that we have on the corner of the fridge. But I think that it's good. This all happened for a reason. There was some sort of deterioration going on the floor. So we'll plan to fix that soon and get everything nice and pretty once again. That segues perfectly into this next section, where I get to tell you where I have personally been these past few weeks. For those of you who watch regularly, you've probably noticed that we haven't been posting as frequently as we were before. And I'm here to tell you why. Well guys, I have a life. Nah, I'm just kidding. The real reason is that I've been extremely busy doing things outside of the boat. For example, I decided to do some renovations on my home, which started with just redoing the floors. But of course, whenever you decide to do any renovations, it's like falling into the rabbit hole. So that led to me repainting the entire rig, pulling out the front seats, and just making it a huge project. But it's gonna look great in the end. Once the paint was all dry, we could finally start with the flooring, and here we used a leveling compound to make a nice flat surface for us to apply the planks to. This is still a work in progress, so if you're interested, stay tuned for the results. At least I'll have had some practice on how to do this, so when the day comes to do it on the boat, I'll be ready. If you enjoyed the episode, give us a thumbs up and comment down below to let us know what you think of the various projects we're working on, or if you think we're just crazy for chopping up that refrigerator. Either way, we'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.